Almost time for tip-off here at Target Center. Sloan Martin, Leah B. Olson along with you from downtown Minneapolis. Let's take a look at our starters this evening. And Leah, I want to talk about the Atlanta Dream. We're seeing Kennedy Carter, who is out currently with an elbow injury that happened during the New York Liberty game. No timetable for her return, but a familiar face to Lynx fans in the starting lineup for Atlanta.
Yeah, well, with Carter being out of the lineup, that's going to be difficult for Atlanta because she brings a lot to this team. Not only is she going to bring about 16 points, is she's going to turn you over, and she can push the pace and was just that leader. So I think she will be very much missed. But yes, Odyssey Sims, a former Lynx player, someone we're used to seeing, is just getting situated and settled in with this team. She's a veteran player. She'll be good as well.
We learned today, too, that Odyssey Sims, who was a 2019 All-Star, her only All-Star selection so far of her career when she was with the Minnesota Lynx, and came back postpartum to compete as the Lynx made it to the semifinals last year in the Wubble. She was able to bring her son Jaden for everyone to come and meet as he continues to grow. So a great story about the Lynx community. On the other side, for the Minnesota Lynx, a familiar starting lineup, but Layshia Clarendon, that roster exemption, the hardship signing, getting in the starting lineup today.
Clarendon did an outstanding job of jumping into a situation that they was very unfamiliar with, and they had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in the game against Connecticut. The question now is, how can Clarendon fit in from here on out? And in a game like tonight, I think that's going to be really interesting to watch the style of play. How much has Clarendon figured out around the Lynx offense as well?
I like the comments from him post-game when he said that Cheryl Reeve would call out a play and Clarendon would say, I don't know what that is. So you would hope that a couple days of practice they've been able to get on the same page, but it was quite an impressive start, now knowing that Clarendon only had that shoot-around to actually prepare.
Really, really impressive. And veteran players do things like that, and that's what's so important is when you, well, Coach Reeve said it best, when you're a professional, you come out on the court and you show up, and that's exactly what Clarendon did in the game.
For Atlanta's defense, we know they're one of the stronger defensive teams in the WNBA with the way they trap along the perimeter, and they've also scored, or I should say prevented scoring in the paint very well as well this season. How are they going to get a handle on Sylvia Fowles, who against the Connecticut Sun had 24 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, still showing that she is not over the age curve by any means. Let's stop talking about her age at this point. But what do you think Atlanta should do to try and limit her impact?
Well, I think every team that comes into Target Center has to think about Sylvia Fowles because she is the weapon. She is the most important weapon on the court for the Lynx. How do you stop her from scoring? You can't really stop her. You can slow her down, but it is keeping her from being comfortable. Don't let her get the easy passes. One thing Atlanta does really good is they get their hands in the passing lane. So if they're really having a hard time dumping the ball into Sylvia, making that difficult. Also, their trapping ability down in the paint could make things difficult for Sil as well.
That was something that Mike Peterson, their interim head coach, has said, and he took the reins after Nikki Cullen was named the head coach of the Baylor women's basketball program, and he said that they are really the glue to our defense, that it depends on the bigs' rotations in order for them to be effective with those traps.
Well, I think that's so true, and it is, when you think of Atlanta, you think of the backcourt, but it is the front court that's really making them so solid and strong defensively. I mean, it's the two together that he's put together a really nice group of athletes.
The Lynx in their home white, which feels good to say, Leah, especially for you as a longtime Lynx broadcaster, to have white back in the lineup again.
Yes, I love it.
I will not stop gushing. Every WNBA broadcaster has done it. I will not stop gushing about the jersey refresh that we've seen, and of course Atlanta in the red. It'll be Elizabeth Williams and Sylvia Fowles for the tip. And that should be a fun matchup to see inside, too, with Williams being named first-team all-defense last year. Here is Jontas being guarded by Hawkins down low. It is Napheesa Collier who will immediately drop chip to the free throw line.
Napheesa Collier is a player I think could actually have a really big game here tonight. I think she's going to be a little bit difficult for Atlanta. She matches up. She's a hard matchup, Napheesa, because she does everything so well. And so to see her get the quick start, her and Dantas have a nice high-low game. She's able to get to the line.
For the Lynx, is this exactly what you're looking for in a first possession where you see that size mismatch with her and Hayes?
And exploiting it right away. Love it.
The Lynx taking a 2-0 lead here early at Target Center, and Odyssey Sims bringing the ball up the floor. Played 2 seasons for the Minnesota Lynx, including her only All-Star year so far in 2019. Came back postpartum to help the Lynx to the semifinals. A block by Sylvia, fouls on what could have been a beautifully drawn up pick and roll, but she said no.
Yeah, Sylvia Fowles said, not in my house. And what I love about that is we've just heard so much about Atlanta's defense, and we know that they're outstanding. But remember, Sylvia Fowles and she can block some shots too.
Syl has this impact that maybe you see it in the advanced stats, but her ability to protect the rim is like none other. But Hayes hits this one from downtown. Fowles in a little bit of trouble. Collier was there back door, and it's going to be an offensive foul.
Yeah, I thought that might be an offensive foul. A little uncharacteristic for Sylvia Fowles to take the ball in that way, so it felt a little bit awkward. Good defense there by Atlanta.
Well, Syl had 4 assists in the most recent game against the Sun, and maybe it just didn't quite time out right, but I know that I saw Fee wide open cutting back door to the basket. Might have been an option there for future possessions, just like the first one. Hayes trying to shake off Dantas, and Dantas staying with her and eventually forcing a turnover.
And I think Dantas is going to be another player. Dantas needs a breakout game as well, and this could be that game. And early on, it looks like she's, involved on the offensive end of the court, being effective defensively.
Fouls. A long hook shot does not drop, and Hawkins the rebound. Here's Williams coming off a huge performance, hit 2 shots in overtime against the Liberty. What was the game tying 3 and then the game winning 3 with 1 second left as Clarendon will drive and finish at the rim.
Nice hesitation there by Clarendon, and then gets right to the basket.
Clarendon showed a lot of spurts like that with her ability to take guards off the dribble. Inside the three-point line, it's Williams knocking it down. When I think of mid-range jumpers, I think of Candace Dupree.
Yes.
And I think of Courtney Williams.
And you should. Because Courtney Williams, well, both of them that you said, but yes, Courtney Williams has been outstanding, and she is the queen of the mid-range game. So anyone who says the mid-range game is dead, they're wrong.
Absolutely.
She's been outstanding this season, and she can score in a lot of ways.
We know what's interesting, though, Leah, is that she is 4 threes away already from tying a season high. So she's shooting quite a bit more. Her season high for her career was 20 back in 2018. Threes are now 30% of her attempts compared to half of that in previous seasons. So that time she was inside the three-point line, but she didn't look like she was looking to go behind it, but something to look out for. Clarendon trying to direct, now having a better feel for this offense compared to her debut against the Sun, and there will be a foul away from the ball.
Yeah, I think that's a good sign for Minnesota that Clarendon is directing traffic, because that means that they're feeling better in this offense, and you have to feel comfortable on the court with your teammates.
That's going to go against Hawkins. And that was something that head coach Cheryl Reeves said too, is that the leadership was so visible, as there's another foul against Hawkins as Napheesa Collier was facing up, is that I saw Leja taking charge in huddles, trying to get this team that had a 12-point deficit after the first quarter back into the game. I think she played a big part in that in an intangible way.
Well, and I think that's one of the pieces that's been missing from the Lynx is who is that real strong vocal voice that's going to be calling people out, and not necessarily in a negative way at all, just talking, communicating. We just haven't seen that much this season.
Especially with the way the season has started, when you feel like they need that injection of, I mean, even accountability and that effort too that
Yes.
Reeve has talked about. Collier at the free throw line again. Handing it off to Sylvia Fowles. You see the footwork and the hook shot, the easiest two you'll see for Fowles.
And I love it. Nice little shuffle pass there from Dantas. And Dantas has already gotten good passes into Collier. A nice little pass into Sill. She's locked in.
McBride is going to miss from long range, and Clarendon looking to push the pace. Williams tried to come help side back door, but Sylvia Fowles waited it out.
It's impossible to defend it, so I say keep going high-low like that until they take it away from you.
Mike Peterson talked about wanting to really put a lot of pressure on the perimeter as the Lynx force a turnover to make those passes inside difficult, make it so that Sill's not catching the ball where she wants, and that has not been the case so far. McBride will knock down the three-point range. Another player you want to see start knocking down those shots.
Yeah, and that was great to see her hitting early. We love that McBride can hit the three, and hitting it early in a game is good news for the Lynx, but this is the first time I've seen the Lynx offense clicking so quickly together.
That's exactly right, especially after that Seattle game, which Reeve called possibly the most disappointing, or one of the most disappointing games in her tenure. To come back and see that happen in the first quarter again, thinking it's deja vu, but that response was so important.
Yes, and I think we're kind of seeing that response roll into this game, because I think what happens in that Sun game is you realize this is what it takes to win, how hard you have to work, and you kind of remember that, and now you see the Lynx get off to a good start.
Sims on Clarendon, giving Clarendon the left, and she'll take it.
I love it. Being aggressive, looking for your shot, leading the team.
Clarendon will draw the foul, almost take out part of the scorer's table. And there's a timeout on the floor almost midway through the first quarter. The Minnesota Lynx already with a 13-5 lead, trying to string together 2 wins in a row after an 0-4 start to this 2021 season. With an early 13-5 lead, Hayes looking to line one up again. Rebound to Courtney Williams, and you see they're one of the best rebounding guards in the WNBA.
Yeah, I love that. I love when guards rebound the ball because it means that they're active and they're aggressive, and Courtney Williams is really the best at that. And it just changes the dynamic of your offense when you have a guard that can rebound the ball.
I mean, she leads all guards in the WNBA. She was near the top last year as well. It's a difficult assignment to try and box her out from the perimeter, I would think.
It is, and it's hard to find her on the court as well.
Tiffany Hayes inside, and she's up to 5 points, the game-high score so far, as Atlanta trying to dig out from an early hole. Clarendon into Fowles, another great catch, more patience. And this time, Atlanta able to disrupt Sylvia.
Yeah, Atlanta does a great job of collapsing in. The double team comes to Sill immediately down low in the paint, and Minnesota unable to score on that one.
And an offensive foul against the Atlanta Dream. Was that an illegal screen? It looks like it was on Billings. Or at least an offensive foul. That was what it officially was.
Okay.
Back to the Lynx. Down inside again to Fowles. The help defense not quite there. I heard travel being called out from the bench, but Fowles continuing to eat up the inside. She's got 6 on 3 for 5 shooting.
Well, we see what Minnesota's game plan is in this one. Get it to Sill.
If there was ever an Odyssey Sims basket, that's it right there from that second hash mark, as there's a foul as Clarendon was trying to bring it up the floor. And here comes Aari McDonald, the number 3 overall pick in 2021.
We haven't yet seen that energy from Atlanta that you're kind of waiting for that frenetic defense that they put on everyone. I think what you've seen from Minnesota is they're taking advantage of their front court presence, and let's see if Atlanta starts taking advantage of their back court.
Good hands by McDonald. Better pass up to Hayes for a transition bucket. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-point game. Minnesota at the timeout led 13-5.
Yeah, Tiffany Hayes has been solid in this first quarter.
Fouls away from the basket. She can put it on the ground too, but she can't convert it. Was looking for a foul on that one. Williams trying to get around Dantas. Feeds Billings. The rebound goes out of bounds back to Minnesota. Also entering the game is Cheyenne Parker, who up until this point for Atlanta had been in the COVID protocols. And this in her season debut, coming off of so many career highs set last season in Chicago, is kind of seeing where her legs are at and getting her integrated.
Yeah, you would think this would be a tough way to get going, but you have to jump in eventually.
Long rebound to Courtney Williams. And she'll pull up just inside three-point range. This is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the WNBA because of Williams and Billings, as well as you've seen on back-to-back plays.
Link's doing a nice job of getting in the passing lanes.
Here's McBride looking for another three. She drains it. Kayla McBride 2 for 2 from beyond the arc.
Nice looking. Their defense created their offense.
McDonald creates some space for herself.
Yeah, it's fun to see McDonald get in the game. I feel like each game that I've watched of Atlanta's, she's just more comfortable each and every game, and you know that she's such a smart player. She's always learning. Every time she steps on the court, she gets better.
We know how tough this transition is as Collier looking for a three, and she will drain it. Minnesota 3 for 4 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, they're in flow right now, Minnesota. They're getting the ball where they want to the players who need to have the ball.
Quick passing from the Dream right back to McDonald. Quick no-look pass to Hayes. The assist not there. Arms in every direction.
Yep.
Staying here.
Atlanta does do a really nice job of moving the ball around the perimeter, sharing the ball, looking for that right shot, and they've shot such a high percentage in this season that they've yet to get into that groove for this game.
Achonwa and Jessica Shepard entering the game for the Lynx, as well as Crystal Dangerfield. Williams steps into that shot, kisses it perfectly off glass.
It's a nice looking shot there by Williams, and let's see if the subs from Minnesota can hold on to this lead for the next 2:15.
I am interested in this matchup between McDonald and Dangerfield for the speed factor there.
Absolutely.
McBride in some trouble. Achonwa trying to get something going. Instead, it's picked off by Courtney Williams. McDonald slowing things down now, but she's going to put up a shot, and she drains it. A great early entrance for the rookie.
It really is, and you can just see that her confidence is so high right now, but just coming in, making a quick impact for Atlanta. Oh, they're doing what they want to do now. Hands in the passing lanes for Atlanta.
And that's exactly what they want to do. Another look for McDonald. Oh, maybe a little heat check there. She is not able to get that one to go. Collier. And another rebound to Williams.
Everyone looks a little bit winded. You know, both these teams may be coming off those OT games, but you can see they're waiting for this quarter to end.
I think that's a really important point to bring up. I mean, there's certain players like McBride, Courtney Williams playing north of 40 minutes. And you have a couple of days. This is not a back-to-back, but it still can stick with you. McBride looking for numbers, but she's going to attack right at Williams, who defends that very well, not drawing a foul.
Yeah, really nice job. And McBride did a nice job of trying to use her body to get some space to get to the basket, but just couldn't finish. Good defense there by Atlanta.
They were so close to half court. I thought there might be a chance that Dangerfield might catch up there, but especially for McBride, who's nearly a 90% free throw shooter for her career, you're okay with her just trying to go one-on-one.
Exactly. No one has a problem with that.
Rachel Banham and Bridget Carlton new into the game for Minnesota, so no starters on the floor for the Lynx. Sims to Hayes, who will spin, have that knocked away. Good interior defense by the Lynx backups.
Her famous spin move to get to the basket. No one does it better than Hayes.
She takes up so much space when she does it too. And she's not a really small guard, but she doesn't take up a lot of space herself.
Exactly.
Well, I love this. It's Williams versus Dangerfield here in the circle for the jump ball. A 2-point game after Minnesota led at 1 point by 8 points in this first quarter.
Oh, I see Crystal. She's going to try to jump early.
Oh, she's trying. And she's, I think that's going to be a violation there. Trying to be a little bit sneaky when you know you maybe don't have much of a chance against 6'4"
Right.
Elizabeth
Let's see, do I just
Williams.
let it go or do I do something?
We'll just pretend Atlanta won the tip there.
There we go.
39 seconds left. Sims has it. Dangerfield on Hayes now. Good hedge by Shepard. And it will be McDonald off front iron and a whistle away from the ball as Elizabeth Williams was trying to go for that rebound.
It was good defensive intensity by the Lynx. You can see that they're really locked in, and their focus today in shoot around really was around staying locked in on the defensive end of the court, getting through screens, communicating with each other on the defensive end.
That's going to be against Bantam, and they're over the limit, so free throws here for Elizabeth Williams. And she is coming off what is her first double-figure scoring performance of this season. 12 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks against the Liberty. But I'm sure she is someone the Dream want to get more involved, scoring more than about 6-7 points per game.
Agreed. She has the ability to do that, and like as she showed in that Liberty game, how effective she can be.
Very small difference between the shot and game clock. Bantam in the corner trying to avoid that trap. Threading the needle is Shepard to Achanwa. A beautiful pass.
And that's how you're going to beat that trapping that Atlanta does so well. Quick, precise passing.
One passing big to the other passing big as Hayes at the buzzer. It will not go, and after one, it is a 2-point game.
A really solid first half of basketball from both teams, but I thought the Lynx were locked in from the very start. Minnesota comes in looking good against Atlanta.
Welcome back to Target Center, a 2-point game after the first quarter. In celebration of LGBTQ+ Pride Month, presented by Deloitte, the WNBA will collaborate with Glisten and Fanatics on an exclusive line of Pride apparel, including Fanatics-branded WNBA t-shirts. All WNBA proceeds will benefit Glisten, and fans can purchase the shirts at thewnbastore.com. Atlanta and Minnesota, the Dream trying to win their 5th game in a row. Minnesota, their 2nd. Minnesota leading by as many as 8 in the first quarter as Hayes will go to the line.
Minnesota coming out right away in this game, being really aggressive on the defensive end, getting in the passing lanes, really staying there. There we see we get a foul because of the aggressiveness on the defensive end.
Tiffany Hayes played every minute in that first quarter, a game-high 7 points for her on 3 for 7 shooting. I thought it was interesting coming into the season, Leah, especially when they drafted Aari McDonald, who was the biggest star of the NCAA tournament, getting to the national championship game. And I thought, I know Tiffany Hayes sat out last season of 2020, but we can't forget about her in this backcourt.
Oh, I agree, and I think Tiffany Hayes remains an outstanding player and has been this season. You're right, sometimes you maybe don't hear that name as much, but boy, she's been super effective.
Full court pressure here from the Dream on the inbound, and Shepard has to hurry over. Still trying to get set in their offense, and that won't happen. Here's Sims with the pickoff and dumping it off, and one. Nicely drawn up play, defense to offense.
Yeah, that really was. And this is where Sims just fits in so well with this Atlanta team, because she's a veteran player who can push the pace, knows where to find her teammates, but then also she's going to turn you over as well, knows how to finish. She's just a good fit for this team.
McDonald at the free throw line. And you like to see that too, and how hard she was running the floor for her teammates, and she completes the three-point play. She's got a game-high 9. Clarendon in trouble. Shepard is going to have to go help her out. Sims almost picking it off again. Minnesota Lynx fans know what that locked-in, energized Sims looks like on the defensive end. Here's Shepard dishing to Achonwa. Why not go to it one more time?
Yes, I love it. I love the bigs communicating in this game, and Shepard, one of those post bigs who can pass the ball so well, gets it into Achonwa, who is kind of thirsty for having a big game.
Williams, she is fouled, drawing nearly every Lynx defender in the paint as Atlanta was moving the ball. It's got to be nice for Achonwa when you're usually the one who is passing off the ball. Here's another look at that play. The foul is going to go against Shepard. Atlanta looking to take the lead here. More pressure from Clarendon, starting in her second game in a Lynx uniform. McDonald, some nice low dribbling, but she can't connect from the free throw line. Looks like Courtney Williams set to check back in for the Dream. Clarendon attacking, difficult shot off 1 foot, and rebound to Atlanta. Billings setting a screen, and Hayes resetting.
Atlanta being patient.
And getting rewarded.
Yes. Doing a nice job. They on their offensive end, you know, when we think so much about how they play on the defensive end of the court, what I like about what they do on the offensive end of the court is just how they communicate with one another, how they come off screens so crisply, how they communicate, you know, just they early on in the season have impressed me with their offense as well.
That's a second on Shepard. Crystal Bradford, new into the game for the Dream, and also coming back in is Cheyenne Parker as she tries to reintegrate herself from her time in the health and safety protocols. Williams misfires, rebound to Carlton. Williams 2 for 6 from the floor with 4 points. Collier has the 6-foot Bradford on her, gonna back her down and draw the foul.
Yeah, that's a good space for Collier right there, because she does a nice job of, you know, she can face up to the basket or dribble, drive, and takes 1 step, tries to get in, and she does a good job of getting to the free throw line.
Bradford has that size, that 6 foot that stands out on this team, but she really is like a 1 or mostly a 2, so it's definitely difficult banging in here with Collier. As she will line up a 3, and Bradford picking off the rebound. Bradford on the run, likes that shot, and she'll drain it, looking right back at her teammates.
She should like that one. Nice follow through.
Bradford's a great story because she had not played in the WNBA since she was drafted in the first round out of Central Michigan in 2015, as Collier gets that offensive rebound and puts it in off glass.
Doing the dirty work. All the little things that Napheesa Collier does.
Williams for 3 herself. And her tough shooting continues, but her first 3-point attempt. Collier looking backdoor pass, not quite there from Shepard. And here's Bradford, quick dump down to Williams, who was stopped, and that'll be a travel.
She disagrees with that. Oh, did they change it?
We'll see if we can get clarification on that, but Williams certainly contested that it was a travel. And it's Atlanta ball. So it still is calling that a turnover by Courtney Williams. And Cheryl Reeve is also getting in on the discussion, understandably. I thought they were maybe going to say that someone touched the ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. And being so far up here, we can't hear what's going on down there.
That's right. What you need to know is that Atlanta has the ball. Here's Sims from the free throw line. She knocks it down. Another, I would put her in the mid-range category as well.
Yeah, she does a great job. No one does better than Sims of penetrating to get into the paint.
Just a hard-nosed player.
Yes.
Perfect pass into Fowles, who takes her time, and it can be just that easy. That's the fouls from the first quarter.
Yeah, I love it. Sylvia's going to enjoy this game because her teammates are locked in and getting her the ball where she wants it.
She's got 8 points, and there's going to be a whistle, even though Fowles is fired up about that defense.
I'm like, go ahead. Block those shots.
That's going to go against Collier, her first and the team's 5th. Lefty no good on the first. Sims this season has started one game, playing 21 minutes, 6 points per game, but still think back to that 2019 season when she was the Lynx leading scorer and getting them to the playoffs yet again, continuing what they hope this year is an 11-year streak. And Sims, of course, a significant part of that in that year. Here's McBride again, almost midway through the second quarter. And an offensive foul against Minnesota.
Yeah,
it's going to go against Shepard in her third.
Yeah.
So Natalie Achanwa is going to step back into the game. And Shepard picking up those 3 fouls in 6 minutes on the floor. Maybe a little more confusion on the floor as well with 6:03 left. And not sure if there was a timeout called on the floor.
It sure looks like it.
Well, Minnesota trailing at this point by 1 point. And it looks like there was some cleanup that needs to happen, some blood on the floor.
Okay. Yeah, you can kind of feel the energy draining out of this quarter a little bit. I thought both teams kind of, well, in particular Minnesota, really flowing there for a while. Now getting a little bit choppy, broken up by the different calls and stoppage of play.
Both teams shooting very well, particularly Minnesota, 57% from the field, and Atlanta, 40%. So you haven't seen it in kind of lackluster play as well. But you're right, it has felt like a little bit of a different pace in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I think just because that first quarter just started off just so, we just saw really great basketball, and we hadn't seen the Lynx shooting that well in for a while. So it was really fun just seeing that offense connecting, the communication. We're seeing that great communication from the bigs as well.
Well, here's a look. There's going to be a replay of a possible flagrant foul, Leah. So there was first that blood to clean up, and then now a review about possibly elevating what you see here with Jess Shepard.
Because she hit her above the shoulders, right?
It's so hard because you want to see your post players be aggressive in trying to get that position and get open.
Right. And many times as a post player, when you're swinging your elbows, you have no idea who's where and where people's heads are and how tall people are, all of those things. But that doesn't matter if you take someone out, in the face area.
Do you think it should be elevated in this case based on the rule?
You know what? I would like to see it again because I didn't get a great view of it the first time through. So
I see Sims talking to her teammates in the huddle. Same thing happening with the Lynx side. And here could be that look again. You're looking at Shepard, number 10 in white. That left elbow.
it's really hard to say from that angle. I think, you know, she did get her, and if that's all it takes then for the flagrant foul. But from that view, from the back, you can't really tell how solid that connection was.
Okay. So it has been upgraded to a flagrant foul. So here is Williams at the free throw line. And this is significant for Atlanta and what's been a really closely contested game so far.
Absolutely. Take advantage of these free throws, which they cannot do for the first one.
Williams' career 66% from the foul line. She's got a very untraditional type of shot, I would say. She goes 0 for 2 right there, which is, of course, positive for Minnesota. So Minnesota, because of that flagrant, back on defense again, almost midway through the second quarter. Sims finds Williams, high screen coming from Parker in her first game of the season. Williams wanted that ball, wanted to shoot it over Achonwa.
She's just deadly. She can score the ball, and a contested shot, you can have your hand in her face, and she's still going to score the ball.
Bradford picking up the foul as she tried to pick the pocket of Napheesa Collier. A timeout called on the floor as Courtney Williams showing how well she can create her own shot, trying to lift the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream with a narrow edge midway through the second quarter here in downtown Minneapolis. Sloan Martin, Leah B. Olson along with you from Target Center. Minnesota led by as many as 8 points, and they have been pounding the paint so far, especially to Sylvia Fowles.
Yeah, doing an excellent job of getting that ball into Sylvia Fowles, scoring in the paint, 18 points in the paint for the Lynx. They've just been very effective.
Odyssey Sims misses that right at the rim. Achonwa stepping in transition and rebound to Williams. It's interesting to see Achonwa and Sill on the floor at the same time. We knew that was going to happen from head coach Cheryl Reeves' comments, but I don't know if we've seen a whole lot of it.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of it, and it really is important, too, for Achonwa to be able to hit some of her outside shots so she can create some space in there, because with Sill in the game, you got to give her space. So if she can hit these outside shots like that.
Just like you called it.
Yes, it opens things up for her and Sill.
Well, Sims looking like she's going to slow things down getting into their offensive set. But Williams finds herself open, and that is such a quintessential play for the Dream.
Yeah, it really is. It's a beautiful shot by Williams. She has such quick, smooth release.
She's the kind of player who you draw a play for to shoot a 15-footer, which you don't see a whole lot,
sure
and that's
don't.
exactly why. A 3-point lead for the Dream. Clarendon, the inbounder. Achonwa looking inside. Fee wants it against Sims, and Sims pretty much had to just step right back, and an easy one for Napheesa.
Yeah, I really love that, and I love how deep Napheesa was able to get in the paint to get the shot that she wanted. That's what we hadn't really been seeing yet from these Lynx players. In this game, it's coming together.
Williams gets the switch. Already shot over Achonwa, and a 3-second violation, or a defensive 3-second rather. And we've just been told that Damiris Dantas, who understandably we have not seen for some time, she is questionable to return with a lower back injury.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, Damiris is a part of this team that's going to be so critical for the Lynx long term because of her ability to score the ball. She's an effective big, so hopefully her back feels better soon.
I mean, a career year in the Wubbles, so important to taking this team to the semifinals, and we hope that she can return with health. And Minnesota, uncharacteristically, turning that one over, but it's their 11th so far.
Yeah, in a game where we were expecting turnovers, but I feel like Minnesota's done such a nice job on the offensive end of hitting shots.
Every coach is going to say we want to limit turnovers,
Yes.
but that was such a huge thing that Cheryl Reeves stressed pregame because of the way this team can turn it into points, extra opportunities, extra shots, extra possessions. Difficult shot by Hayes, gets it to go.
Yeah, that was good defense there by the Lynx, but Atlanta worked harder on the offensive end and was able to score on it.
And another turnover where there was just a miscommunication between those same two. A timeout on the floor with 3:18 left in this second quarter. Minnesota trailing by 4 points here at this point.
I think it's a good timeout by Minnesota. Get things back together as Minnesota and Atlanta are battling it out.
The Minnesota Lynx facing their largest deficit of this contest against the Atlanta Dream, which have won 4 straight. Minnesota coming off an overtime win over the Sun. Probably a season-changing win, and that's how the Lynx are hoping it turns out, as Hawkins will leave that quite short from 3. She's 0 for 15 this season from long range. Here's Collier. Waiting for that screen, almost knocked away by McDonald, who's been so active in this game after playing only 7 minutes in an overtime win against the Liberty, and a foul going against Hayes. Dangerfield checking in to replace Clarendon.
Nice job here by Carlton, and I think the key right now for Minnesota offensively is to attack the basket. I like that right there by McBride. Can't finish it, but just keep attacking the basket because they're getting into the paint.
McDonald with Carlton on her, trying to spin and drop that off, but a kickball. Good interior defense by Minnesota. It'll be Atlanta ball. Tiffany Hayes, the only player above double figures. She's got 11 on 4 for 8 shooting, has been really a go-to for the Atlanta Dream. Here's Williams with 3 seconds left. Tipped by Dangerfield, and a shot clock violation.
The Lynx have to kind of thrive on that. That's a big deal when you're clicking together defensively and you can hold someone to create a shot clock violation.
Dangerfield about midway through the shot clock. Here is Collier, who sets herself up for 3, and that's left short. Collier, she's got 9 points, 3 for 7 from the floor. Hard screen by Hawkins creates a lane for Hayes, and she will attack, and 2 free throws coming her way.
Yeah, I saw Minnesota trying that. I mean, they're trying to get in front defensively. You could see they're communicating, but a nice job here. Oh.
You think that could have gone the other way?
Yeah, well, no, I think it's the right call.
Okay. Watching Hayes throughout her career, and especially in this game, where she has just no fear of trying to split defenders.
I know.
I mean, imagine going top speed into Collier and fouls. I mean, that's what it takes in this league, but it's worth when you see it.
You know it's not going to end well usually, or someone's going to be on the ground. But, yes, you do have to be fearless, and Hayes is quick and fearless and got herself to the free throw line.
She's got the second one, 4 for 5 from the charity stripe, a game-high 13 points for Hayes. Collier to the high post. Good look for McBride. She had been 2 for 2 from long range, her first miss from there. Hayes loses it cleanly, and Fee comes up with it. McBride one more time, the same spot. She was not going to miss 2 in a row.
Yeah, you're right, and it's good to see some fast break points from Minnesota. That really gets things rolling.
Williams, baseline, getting away from fouls. And a turnover by Atlanta.
That's something you see that often from Courtney Williams.
A little indecisiveness.
Yeah, she thought about it.
McDonald guarding Dangerfield, and Dangerfield's going to attack all the way. Last minute decide to Carleton. No assist there, but Collier, the cleanup +1.
That is quintessential Napheesa Collier right there. Just her ability to be in the right place at the right time, always moving without the basketball. So when she comes in to get the rebound, to save the day, to get the steal, those are the things that she does that makes her an elite player in this league.
She's someone where, of course, she can have these splashy plays, her threes, really nice post moves. But there are games like this where she's got 11, 3, and 2, and it's quiet.
Yep, and she's doing all those little things, yes.
Williams handing off to Courtney Williams. And here's Hayes with Carleton on her. Hayes sets herself up for 3, can't knock it down. Rebound to Collier. Couple of moments of contact, finally a foul called there against Williams.
Yeah, and just a good job again by Napheesa Collier in that when she gets the board, she pushes down court, and in doing that is able to create the contact.
She's said that ball handling has been something she worked on in the offseason, and that's been since she's come into the league, knowing she's going to be playing more in the perimeter, at the 3, having to learn pick and rolls when the ball is in your hands.
Yes.
But I think even though it's a small thing, but that foul put them in the bonus.
Yep.
And you see where that confidence in the ball handling comes in.
Absolutely, and her adding little things like that, the ball handling. I mean, she's a great 3. She's great at the 4 spot, but that's what that versatility to be able to move her around gives the Lynx so many more options.
Less than a second difference between the shot and game clock. Williams setting things up to get ready to go. Elizabeth Williams, the screen. And Hawkins still looking for that first 3, and she's got it. Breaking that slump to start the year at a big time. That won't go at the buzzer. A big shot by Hawkins, putting Atlanta on top at the half.
Yeah, we just saw some really good basketball, just moving that ball around. Both teams look great.
A 1-point game heading into the second half here at Target Center between the Minnesota Lynx and the Atlanta Dream. Sloan Martin, Leah B. Olson along with you. Minnesota very successful scoring in the paint, leading that category 22-8. And Leah, this is a team in the Dream that against the Dallas Wings earlier this season had 52 points in the paint. So we know that that's quite an accomplishment through the first 20 minutes.
Absolutely. It's huge, and I think it has to continue in the second half, being really aggressive to try to who's going to own the paint. And if Minnesota can keep looking to dump it in, to communicate with one another, that's going to be key.
Napheesa Collier had 9 of her 14 points in the second quarter. What did you think was different for her from the first to the second quarter?
I would say that I felt like she had the communication from the get-go of this game. I thought she came in, was ready to go. I thought in the second quarter we just kind of saw her doing the little pieces, the little things that, again, you said during the game that maybe we're not going to always see in the stat sheet, but she was moving with the ball, grabbing the board, setting up her teammates.
Minnesota still shooting 53% from the field. Atlanta at 40%, and a couple players on either side in double figures. Napheesa Collier with 14 and Tiffany Hayes with 13 to lead the way. Hayes, a big part of their offense. Both of them also getting to the free throw line as well, a combined 9 free throws for the two of them. And we are joined by Lynx assistant coach Plynette Pearson. Plynette, in this first half, I wanted to start off and ask about how you can continue to score in the paint. It was clearly an emphasis early on, and Fee and Sill are scoring really well there.
Well, we knew they were going to be aggressive on the outside on our ball pressure and everything, so we just try to use their aggressiveness against them. We know we got one of the best centers in the league, so we wanted to throw it inside to her and see if she can get into work, go to work early.
Plynette, this is Leah. There's 7 players on the Atlanta Dream team that have scored. What do you want to do in the second half to really slow them down?
Well, we know they're quick, they're fast, they're guards. They like to push it and get to the basket, so we just have to get into our shell defense and just play our defensive principles and be there for each other.
All right, Lynx assistant coach Plynette Pearson, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
You heard there from assistant coach Plynette Pearson about how confident they are in being able to just let Sill do the work, and how Atlanta knew that coming in. Do you think Atlanta could make any adjustments to make it tougher for Sill? Because when she catches the ball at the right angles in the right spot, it's unstoppable.
Right, so I think even if it's the defense on the player that's trying to get the ball into Sill, if they can be more aggressive in hands in the passing lane, because really at the start of this game, Minnesota was doing whatever they wanted, getting her the ball how she wanted. That did slow down, though.
Looks like same starters out onto the floor for the Atlanta Dream, but starting the second half is Bridget Carlton and Laisha Clarendon, I should say, did start this game, their first here in Minnesota. So Bridget Carlton starting out here in the second half.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I've heard kind of conversations on WNBA Twitter about like people wanting to see Carlton in that starting lineup. So interesting to see her starting here in the second half.
Fouls unsuccessfully drawing that charge, but she does recover in the paint. There is a foul, though, against the Lynx. That's going to go against Carlton. Now, she was such a lightning rod last year in the Wubble, and a little bit quiet in their most recent game where she just took one shot in over 20 minutes. So really was not being that kind of aggressive player who we know can definitely drop in the ball.
Yes, absolutely. And hopefully Damaris Dantas is doing okay, and which is the reason why we're assuming we're seeing Carlton step into this lineup.
That's exactly right. Damaris Dantas is questionable to return with a lower back injury. She's just played a couple of minutes, have not seen her since the first quarter. Here is Sims able to get that shot off with her left hand.
And this is a player you don't really want to get her in her rhythm or let her loose, because she can score big points. And that's one thing Atlanta's missing, Carter, who scores 15, 16 points a game. So they need to make that up somewhere.
Well, if Mike Peterson, their interim head coach, told them to be more aggressive on the perimeter, just like Sims was with Clarendon, then that's exactly proving your point, Leah.
Yes, exactly. When you come out in the second half, you can feel their energy sometimes with Atlanta.
10 on the shot clock for Clarendon. They'll attack, and that won't go.
It's a great read by Clarendon, just can't finish.
Williams in rhythm, long two. That easy.
So easy, just how you said it, in rhythm. If she's shooting in rhythm, you know it's going down.
She's had some, within this Atlanta offense, the ability to get pretty clean looks, and then that one coming in transition. Back up to a 5-point lead. The Lynx in the first quarter led by 8. 5 seconds. Collier, plenty of time, and she answers right then.
Yeah, nothing but net. Nice follow through by Collier. She's feeling confident right now on the court.
2 for 4 from beyond the arc. 17 points, a game high. Sims finds some space, finds Williams, though. 10 on the shot clock. Hayes for 3. That's left short, and the rebound to McBride. Collier might have been caught a little bit off guard by that pass, but staying on this side of the floor. Foul against Atlanta. I was going to be so impressed with Collier if she kept her dribble, and it looked like she was going to succeed.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest of plays for the Lynx. There's a lot going on there, but she went down and got the foul.
That's against Tiffany Hayes. That's her second, and Dangerfield checking in for Clarendon. Collier finds fouls behind the basket. That's not a problem. She will draw the foul against Williams, who's a really solid shot blocker.
Yeah, she really is, and it just goes to show you how difficult it is to guard Sylvia Fowles. And, you know, she has some inches on her, but Sil has a lot of little moves down low, so she can get that ball. If you just get it to her down low, she can take it on either side of the basket.
She could get the ball completely behind the basket, and I would assume she's going to score.
Yes, I agree with you.
I can't remember what defenders were around her, but in that Connecticut game, she kind of sliced through multiple defenders, the way she stepped through and finished with a reverse, and you just, all you can say is you love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of the greatest the game has ever seen.
Off the miss, it is Sims. And McBride guarding Williams. Hayes, wide open look, and she makes Minnesota pay.
Yeah, she sure does. Nice release. Collier came flying in just a second too late.
Dangerfield almost losing it. Sims just pounding the basketball here on defense.
Yes, wow. There was a lot going on there, but Sims created most of the chaos on that.
I just saw big high fives from Courtney Williams and Elizabeth Williams, I think expressing the appreciation for how she's been disruptive.
Absolutely, and that's the word you use all the time with this team, this Atlanta team, disruptive. They make it difficult for you on the offensive end of the court.
She's got just 6 points, but 5 assists to go along with it. And draining a 3 as well, and that's gonna provoke a timeout. A big run to start the third quarter by the Atlanta Dream. They've extended this out 52-44 here at Target Center, looking for their 5th win in a row. After a Minnesota timeout, Odyssey Sims before that scoring 5 points to start things out for the Atlanta Dream in this third quarter. Minnesota trying to respond from this deficit they found themselves in, but they won't start it off with a bucket. Sims into the starting lineup this game, her second for the Dream this season, her first year in Atlanta because Kennedy Carter is out with an elbow injury. No timetable for her return. Can she go 3 for 3 this quarter? Not this time.
Yeah, that's good news for Minnesota right there, because we were saying in the break, when Odyssey Sims kicks in, she can turn a game, and that's why Coach Reeve called the last time out, is she could feel her heating up. And
that's got to be helpful if you're Reeve and you have so much experience with this player to kind of better read the situation.
Yeah, I thought that's interesting too. I was thinking about all the players that are come through here now that who have played for the Lynx, and you know exactly how they play. Coach Reeve knows all of Odyssey's tendencies, where she likes the ball, how she penetrates in the paint, all those things.
Here is McBride, a quick 3, won't go. Rebound to Williams. And for Courtney, that's her 6th, normally averaging 7, the best rebounding guard in this league. Hayes trying to cover a lot of space, can't get that.
Yeah, a little difficulty there in the paint.
Dangerfield going to reset things, driving against Sims, hard contact, and drawing the foul. It was something you talked about pregame, Leah B, is the matchup with Crystal Dangerfield. And does she have a better matchup in this case, going up against a Aerie McDonald or an Odyssey Sims?
Yeah, and Coach Reeve said it. Yeah, her athleticism will be needed in this game, and we're seeing that right now from Dangerfield, is her ability to attack the paint, be quick and physical. She has to be a little bit careful. You know, when she drives the basket, she tends to throw her body and fall a lot, and just kind of like, she's so small. but her athleticism is outstanding.
These are essentially at first free throw, her first point of the game in 8 minutes. Also has an assist in this one, 0 for 1 from the floor. Here's Williams handing it off to McDonald, new into the game. Hayes liking her look outside three-point range, long rebound to Carlton. Hard screen from Fowles. And McBride misfires again. She is 3 for 8 overall, all but 2 of those shots coming from beyond the arc. Hayes trying to go one-on-one behind the back and the finish.
Wow, that was nice looking.
These Atlanta guards are scary with the ball in their hands. The ability to go one-on-one, isolation. A lot of talent there in the backcourt. Here's McBride trying again, and she knocks down another 3, her 4th today, and she's got 12.
And that's exactly why Kayla McBride is in Minnesota, for her ability to hit big three-point shots.
And she certainly has the green light to keep shooting, keep finding that stroke. And here is Hayes asserting herself again and one.
Yeah, Hayes has taken this game on her shoulders, and she has been so aggressive, so good at getting to the basket. This is really difficult to stop. How do you stop her? She does a good job of protecting the basketball, bringing it up. How does she hold on to it?
I mean, she switches the ball as she's in the air as Sylvia Fowles is coming at her.
It's impressive.
I have no explanation for that, but it happened. And she completes the three-point play. 21 points for Tiffany Hayes. 7 for 15 from the floor. Dangerfield trying to go up against McDonald, who strips her, and then she fouls McDonald. And McDonald has made an impact as soon as she got into the game, but also plays like that.
Yeah, that's just how she plays, but I do like that. It's like when she's coming off the bench, she's going to come in, and it's like she's leading the team even though she's the rookie who's coming off the bench. She has that quality.
I mean, she earlier this season got a coach's decision, so it's been a little bit of a difficult start for her, and she's talked about using practices like a game to work on her craft, to absorb from these veterans, and that kind of small work builds up to a performance like this. Up ahead to Collier, tipped away well by Billings, but still a good look up ahead for Minnesota.
Yeah, both teams really not getting a lot of fast break points, really having to set up in their offenses and then deal with the defenses of that. Both teams are sitting pretty stingy in their defenses.
Nice pass. Dangerfield back to the inbounder McBride for an easy 2. I personally love when baseline inbound plays just turn out with just a really good shot, and that was really nicely done by Dangerfield.
It always seems so sneaky. A player just steps in, lays it in. Yeah.
Just gonna sneak my way over this line. Malaysia Clarendon returning to the game. Carlton taking a seat. McBride, a quick trigger on that one, and she is feeling it in this quarter. McBride up to 17. She's got 5 threes.
Yeah, taking advantage of the size disadvantage she had right there. She knew she wanted that shot.
McDonald for 3, trying to silence this crowd.
Sure did, right back at you.
It's back to 7 points once again as Dangerfield goes behind the back. And Clarendon will travel, turning it over, and that is number 14 for Minnesota.
Yeah, those turnovers is kind of slowly adding up for Minnesota, becoming a problem.
Hayes uses a screen from Billings. Almost knocked away and stolen by the Lynx, and Fowles looks like she's going to get whistled.
I think so. I think she kind of reached around to try to get that ball.
And that's going to be number 3 on Sylvia. Do you think Atlanta has made a transition defensively, trying to limit her touches in this second half, or is it kind of too early to say?
I think you're right. I mean, that production has slowed down in the paint for Minnesota.
Parker leaves that short for 3. Courtney Williams, the offensive rebounder, gets 2 more.
Yeah, you can't give second and third chances to Atlanta.
Foul, saving it from going out of bounds, though, so minimizing the damage as Minnesota. Here's Dangerfield driving hard. McDonald tried to rob Dangerfield again, but will be whistled for the foul.
Yeah, just both so fast and speedy. It's like who's faster than who, both trying to get who's going to get to the spot before the other one, but Crystal wins this one.
Great instincts again, though, by McDonald.
Yes.
Knowing where to put the ball, and I think that's like mandatory if you are that size, that you have to know these types of patterns where players bring the ball down when they're going in for a layup or when they catch in the post, that you just can use to your advantage.
Exactly.
And McDonald will bring it up the floor after that Dangerfield make. McDonald sees Sill in front of her.
Doesn't want that matchup.
Gonna dribble that back out, and McBride will foul Courtney Williams.
Yeah, McBride a little mad at herself on that one. Just a little overzealous, trying to get to that ball, looking for the steal.
And that's something she does so well, is getting into those passing lanes, deflecting passes. And by the way, that's a 15th foul on Minnesota, so free throws the final 2:17. For Atlanta, 3 in double figures, led by Tiffany Hayes with 21. Williams has 11, and McDonald off the bench with 12. As Crystal Bradford will check back in for the Dream, and a little bit of a break here for Hayes. Clarendon going baseline. Hard finish.
Clarendon does well on the baseline like that.
It's very patient. 6 points now for Clarendon. Nice screen from Parker. This is Bradford knocking down a 3 off the bench. And she's 2 for 2.
Yeah, she's looking good out there. The momentum feels like it's really shifted to Atlanta. They're doing all those little things really well again.
And Nafisa Collier will turn it over. She is someone who you can expect to score even in a difficult situation like that, when she's trying to make something happen, but that time ending in a travel.
Agreed. She has 17 points in this game, and you don't see her make a lot of mistakes during a game.
Or force things often.
Exactly.
Bradford picks up her dribble, the skip pass to Parker. Lots of traffic. Fouls might have gotten a piece of that. Dangerfield can't shake free of McDonald. It's Clarendon again, a hard drive, and the finish is good.
Catches Williams in the air.
Clarendon up to 8 points on 4 for 6 shooting. Bradford looking to go 3 for 3. That's left short, and a foul on the ground. Multiple players trying to go for that rebound. It's going to go against Dangerfield, and that is her 4th.
So that's going to be a little tough for Minnesota, because I thought Dangerfield added quite a bit in this game. With her energy, her athleticism, and her little battle with McDonald.
And it hasn't quite shown up in the box score with her scoring 3 points, all coming from the free throw line, but it has been that speed and that athleticism that Cheryl Reeve talked about being really advantageous in this matchup. And a rebound to fouls off that Parker miss. 40 seconds to go as Clarendon almost loses it. She's in trouble near the half-court line. McDonald, again, a troublemaker for the Minnesota Lynx, but Clarendon makes her pay, and she scored 3 buckets in a row.
All that work pays off at the end.
That's right. Bradford looking to net one more. That is her 3rd three-pointer, and she's got 9 off the bench in 4 minutes.
We're going to have to rethink that corner that she likes to shoot from and how we're guarding it, because I like her little moves that she does after the shot. Kind of a little pose there.
Shot no good by Carleton. Rebound to Clarendon. And it looks like there'll be a whistle with 2.7 seconds left. So Clarendon set to shoot 2.
I think Clarendon's minutes in this game have been really well spent.
Now that they've got some practice time with Minnesota as opposed to just a shoot around, getting more acquainted with the Minnesota offense. They've got 11 points right now. McDonald's gonna try and make something of that final shot, and certainly she does. Come close right there from 3-quarter court. Well, when you go 5 years without playing in a WNBA game, you're gonna be excited putting up shots like that. The dream with the lead. Kayla McBride and Lasia Clarendon combining for 16 of Minnesota's 22 points in the 3rd quarter, but Leah, they found themselves down by as many as 9 points here so far in the 2nd half.
Yeah, they have, and they have to continue to dominate in the paint, because that's really worked for them. You know, they've 30 points in the paints for Minnesota versus 14 for the Dream. They want to pull this one out. They got to keep going inside.
Staying right here off of that deflection by Bradford. And as a reminder, no Damiris Dantas so far. She had been listed as questionable to return to the game with a lower back injury. Bradford will draw Clarendon drawing the foul against Bradford. And for Bradford, that's number 3. Into the post for Carleton, chasing down that ball and then fighting for it. It's a jump ball coming up. So it looks like it'll be Hayes and Carleton.
Yeah, it would be nice to see if Carleton could get her rhythm in this game a little bit right now, because they could use her ability to shoot that 3 ball, and she's just such a smart player who plays so well off of her teammates, but just needs to get a little flow going here.
Yeah, been a little bit passive. She has not scored, has 4 rebounds and an assist, but 0 for 2 from a couple 3 attempts. And here is McDonald. The game of her early career in this one against Minnesota. Of course, Sabrina Ionescu had the 10th all-time triple-double in WNBA history, and the youngest to do it against Minnesota too. So some young players having good contests against the squad.
Showing up and showing out.
Here is Banham for 3.
That would be another player to get hot in this one, is because we know Banham can hit, and she'll, she likes to have the ball in her hand at the end of the game, but she, again, needs to get in the flow.
Coming into this game, 1 for 10 from 3.
Yes.
Ball bouncing around multiple places. As you said earlier in the game, a lot happening at that moment. But it's going to be a turnover back to Atlanta. A 5-point game. Minnesota in the first quarter led by 8, then trailed by 9 in the third. But it's otherwise been a closely contested contest. Here's Elizabeth Williams dishing it off to Billings. Saw her pregame practicing that little short corner shot.
Yeah, Billings does that really nice. A nice dish off there by Williams.
Clarendon spinning, finding some space. Here's a look for Carleton, and that's off the mark.
Yeah, and she's frustrated with that because that would be a shot if she was in her regular shooting motion and flow that she would hit. She was wide open.
It's hard to imagine as a WNBA player what it's like to have that wide open of a shot because you just don't see it that often.
Right.
And then if you're not shooting well, the pressure to get this one to go because you don't know when it will come again.
Yep, that's a big part of the game, for especially for bench players coming in and needing to score as soon as you come into a game.
Odyssey Sims back into the game after a fantastic second and third quarter. A block there by Billings, but Fee stays with it.
Yeah, and that's the type of thing Fee does so well. She stays with it. It would have been easy just to think that it was ended, and she gets the rebound and taps it in.
Here is Sims. Another shot she looks to do, but it's off back iron.
Yeah, neither team getting easy points.
Long range 2 for Natalie Achanwa. She's 4 for 5. Maybe her strongest game in a Lynx uniform so far.
I would agree with you. Yep, it's nice to see her kind of getting involved in the offense, taking smart shots. That was a good look.
Especially without Damaris Dantas, who's questionable to return with a back injury. Have not seen her since the first quarter. Really trying to pick up that scoring.
Yes, absolutely.
Tiana Hawkins coming in to replace Elizabeth Williams. That was a roundabout substitution there. If you were following Carleton, I think she thought she was going to the bench, circled back in. I thought there were going to be 6 players. Everything's sorted out now, though. 5 for Minnesota.
Players pulling themselves out, thinking Coach Reeves going to pull them out.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to go the other way as Achanwa breaks up that pass.
Yep, nice job. That's hustle. When Coach Reeves brought Achanwa in here, that was one of the things that she talked about with her, is just that gritty play, getting down, grabbing balls, doing all those little things, and it's been a slow start for her to get involved with the Lynx, but we're, as you said earlier, starting to show up here tonight.
Yeah, Reeves said she wanted Achanwa mentioned in the same breath as all the other free agents that were signed, including McBride and Powers, who's currently injured. And what a gift it is as a coach, a player who wants to do the gritty things, who wants to do the unheralded things, because that's just, they understand that's what they do best and what they need.
Absolutely. Knowing your role on a team is critical, and it's critical in championship teams, that's for sure.
Here's McBride along 2. She's been looking for a lot of opportunities along the baseline. That one does not go, but she's got 17 for this game.
Oh.
Hayes attacking and picked off, stolen by McBride. The quick outlet to Collier, who was chased down from behind by Hayes. And a very nice recovery by Hayes, too. Wasn't sure if that was caught on the screen, but jumping onto the table and then immediately off it.
Yeah, Hayes is so athletic, but I love the fact she never gave up on the play. And on the offensive end, when it didn't work out for her, she was like, I want to make sure it works out on the defensive end of the court. It's impressive.
Right now on the sideline, she's on her, has her hands on her knees, and head coach Mike Peterson kind of came over and gave her a pat on the back, I think because of that effort play. Here's Dangerfield finishing inside, a very nice pass from the big.
Dangerfield doing big things for this team in important moments. And as the clock winds down, I think that's good to see her on the court.
That knocked away. Turnover forced by Napheesa Collier.
Very timely.
It's just a 1-point game. It's never been separated by more than 3 possessions throughout. And Minnesota can take the lead on this Dangerfield shot, and they do.
This is where Dangerfield gets comfortable. I tell you, at the end of games where things heat up, she wants the ball in her hand. We saw it so much last year in the bubble.
That was the exact comment I was going to make, is that she was just known for being a fourth quarter performer as Sims misfires, rebound to fouls.
Doing a nice job on the boards.
McBride looking for another 3, too strong. Good box out from Hawkins. And Williams, I think, rightly going to slow down the pace. Bradford feeling confident, and rightfully so. Bradford off the bench with 12.
Wow. That came right at the right time. They have a lot of weapons on this Atlanta team.
Dangerfield has got a 3-point play coming up. This is Rookie of the Year, Crystal Dangerfield play.
Yeah, and the Rookie of the Year has had a hard start to this season, but she is really showing up in this game right now.
Minnesota looking to take the lead back again when Crystal Dangerfield goes to the free throw line, showing up big late. 10-3 run for the Minnesota Lynx, a chance to take the lead here. In celebration of LGBTQ plus pride presented by Deloitte, the WNBA will collaborate with Glisten and Fanatics on an exclusive line of pride apparel, including Fanatics branded WNBA t-shirts. All WNBA proceeds will benefit Glisten, and fans can purchase the shirts at WNBAstore.nba.com. Minnesota back with the lead again. There's been multiple lead changes in this second half, and Aari McDonald continuing the best game so far of her young career.
Yeah, if you look at the stats for these two teams, they're very similar. The only thing that's glaringly different is points in the paint. Minnesota 38 to Atlanta's 12, and that's otherwise it's really close. And both teams shooting the ball well.
This will be Hawkins' third personal foul. They've got 3 team fouls, so no free throws just yet. But what a huge 3 by McDonald to take the lead back again. Short-lived for Minnesota, but Dangerfield will look to strike, and she does.
Yeah, she's back.
Crystal Dangerfield with 13 points, 4 for 6.
You can just see she's locked in, and she's hitting those shots. She has her confidence, and I think she likes this matchup with McDonald, who's going to get open here if she doesn't keep an eye on her.
Difficult shot for Williams. By the way, every point for Dangerfield coming in the second half. Collier to fouls to Carlton. That time it was contested and comes up short. Bradford with the run out, and she'll finish on the opposite side. I spoke too soon. No finish there.
It looked like it was gonna. She is so good around the rim. That one didn't go.
Collier stops on a dime, and that's it.
Yeah, Collier is back as well. I mean, she's starting to play at that real high level that we're used to, and sometimes you just don't notice all the things that she does.
Williams along the baseline, no good. Nice rebound by Billings. Williams today 5 for 16, does have 9 rebounds and 11 points. But you're so right about Collier. In a lot of ways, she reminds me of, she's like a straight A student in a way, where she just is guaranteed to do well on things and just performs. What she does well, she executes so well.
Yes. quick learner, picks things up nicely. You know, Coach Reeves says, you know, face the basket and make this shot, and then she practices it a few times and then does it.
Dangerfield thought about that long three. McBride, a quick closeout by Courtney Williams, and it goes out of bounds. And a timeout called on the floor under 3 minutes left. A close one here at Target Center. Minnesota trying to win 2 in a row. It is a one-possession game. The lead has flip-flopped throughout this second half. Crystal Dangerfield guarding Ari McDonald with 10 points in this fourth quarter. Here's Williams with the basketball, under 10 to go. Hayes joining Nafisa Collier with 21 points in this game. Blocked on the perimeter, but a whistle.
Was that a McBride or Collier?
I think it was McBride, you're right. No, it looks like it is going to go against Collier, her third.
The crowd doesn't like it as they see the block on the big screen.
When you see mouths agape on the floor, you know they're not pleased. And it looks like there's going to be a review on this play. And they're determining if it's a 2 or a 3, sounds like.
Got it.
And it's going to be close. It looks like, it's going to be a 3. That was a quick replay on that one.
Yeah, I like that. You make quick decisions. Games
always
moving.
prefer that.
Yes.
Not always the case. But Courtney Williams will go to the line, shooting 75% for her career, and 3 free throws coming up. Potential here to tie the game for the player who was so clutch in overtime against the New York Liberty. Had that game-tying 3 with 35 seconds left in overtime. The game winner with 1 second left. And Leah, I loved watching her interview post-game where she talked about Monique Billings being in the huddle saying, "You're playing timid." And she said, "I took that personal." Just a big smile on her face as she's talking about this. And she said, Crystal said, "Who wants to take the big shot? Do you want to take the big shot?" She says, "I took that personal."
Yeah.
So
exactly.
You just see the confidence that she has. And here another possession staying with Atlanta, but not for long.
Yeah, wasn't Coach Peterson saying, and she asked for the ball at the end of the game? And he said, yeah, I'd be the dumbest guy in the world not to give her the ball at the end of the game.
That's exactly right. So someone to definitely watch out for as we get into the closing moments. Fouls facing up against a very lanky Elizabeth Williams. That's just left short. Another rebound for Courtney Williams, and she has got a double-double. Back-to-back double-doubles for her. Williams driving and finishing. Command with that move.
Yep, exactly what we were talking about. Just her ability to score the ball off the dribble, mid-range, anywhere on the court.
The lead back to the Dream. Here is Collier into the paint, trying and up and under, and she will go to the foul line.
Yeah, I think that's something she was working on and shoot around today. She has that little up and under move, and it's a good one to get you to the free throw line.
I thought that Billings did a pretty solid job of trying to stay with her. I think that's something that's going to come up in a scouting report. Here's another look at that foul, but she comes off her feet a little bit.
Yeah, that's absolutely the key is you got to stay grounded.
One more coming up here for Collier, who has a game-high 22 points to go along with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Knocks them down in clutch time. Williams trying to get herself free. Has it almost knocked away. And an offensive foul. McBride slow to get up. She might have taken a shot right to the face.
Yeah, that was an offensive foul because you can see she was just going in using her body trying to get to the free throw line.
Hopefully McBride is okay. She's getting back over to the huddle, but I mean, anytime you're taking an elbow or a shot to the face, no one wants that. Looks like she's still kind of grimacing a bit. And another look at this play. And I would assume to see if this possibly could be elevated.
Yeah, if it's going to be a flagrant, if she got her in the mouth.
Well, she certainly was in pain right after. Here's Williams going up for that shot. It doesn't look like there was any intent. She was trying to draw that foul, but it could be a situation of it happened to hit the defender, above the neck.
Right, which would still make it a flagrant.
So review on the floor, just to recap. 4 players in double figures for the Atlanta Dream. Tiffany Hayes leading with 21. Courtney Williams has 15, but on 6 for 17 shooting. And then off the bench, huge performances from Ari McDonald, who has 15, and Crystal Bradford with 12. And then for Minnesota, Nafisa Collier with 23, followed by McBride with 17, Clarendon with 12, and Dangerfield with 10 of her 13 coming in the fourth quarter. But like we saw earlier, when there was a flagrant dished out, when you get those free throws plus the possession, this is a very big decision for the referees.
And with 1:23 left in this, 81-80, Lynx up by 1.
Leah, are you prepared mentally to maybe have a repeat of Sunday perhaps? I'm just letting you, we could get to that point.
Thank you for allowing me to get prepared, because no, I wasn't.
Exactly. From that Clarendon nearly game-tying 3 to overtime.
Crazy. I love Marnie Gellner's call on that one. I was just laughing because she was screaming, and it was great. It was just the energy in the building was crazy.
Oh, yeah. I can't ask for a much better game than that one, but I think we're in close contest here.
Yeah. I want to say this has been a well-played game tonight by both teams, and
14 lead changes.
That's an indicator that it's been a good game, and I think both teams have played good defense, have shot the ball well.
It's been high-quality basketball for sure. The Lynx still continuing their great shooting, up near 53%. As a team this season, they're only shooting 40% as a team. That's 10th in the WNBA, so a big jump for them. And it looks like it will not be a flagrant, just an offensive foul called on Williams, so that call confirmed, and it's Lynx basketball.
All right, here we go.
1:20 to go, and it looks like Cheryl Reeve going with Clarendon and Dangerfield on the floor, and Dangerfield will lose it. Williams up ahead to McDonald. She couldn't slow it down in time. Just an errant pass by Elizabeth Williams.
Yeah, that pass was aggressive.
Foul on the other side. There's throwing the ball ahead to your teammate, and then there's...
You're leading, you want to lead the player towards the basket, but it was too much, and McDonald couldn't get a regular shot off with it.
So that's going to be the 3rd on Tiffany Hayes and the 5th team foul. So free throws the rest of the way for Minnesota, starting with Clarendon, who for her career is a 60% foul shooter.
It's insanely quiet in this stadium right now.
I think this is a group of fans that understands that the Lynx are in danger of going, 1-5 this season. This is, 1-4 is the poorest start for them since 2010. And of course, we know what happened the next year. But it's unusual territory, and I think they are playing with that sense of urgency, that desperation that head coach Cheryl Reeve talked about wanting to see carry over.
Yeah, and I think she'll be pleased with what she has seen from her players tonight as far as their defensive intensity, how they've showed up on the offensive end, they're communicating with one another. We're starting to see that all form. And were there pockets where it declined? Yes, but not overall. I think it's been pretty good. That desperation is carried over.
Now, when we look at the Lynx huddle, And knowing that, especially, from the players and coaching staff, there is this focus. I mean, Cheryl Reeves said that Connecticut game was like a playoff game. Win at all costs, no matter how many minutes it takes, especially going into overtime. Do you feel like there is still that same sense of urgency to pick up this win, and what do you think they're talking about?
Yes, I do think. I think this game has shown that there is the same sense of urgency, and there is a minute and 4 seconds left in this game. We're only up by 3, so that this can obviously go either way. And I think they just have to have composure in this next part and believe that they can do it with the tenacity that they did it in the Suns game.
Here's a look at some of our game-high scores. Courtney Williams with her second straight double-double, and Nafisa Collier leading the way from Minnesota with 23 points and 7 rebounds. It is Atlanta basketball. Courtney Williams, the inbounder from the sideline with a minute to go. Into Tiana Hawkins, barely. And Williams starting this offense. McDonald getting big clutch minutes as she tries to ditch it off. It went off a couple of different hands, but staying with Atlanta.
That was a big miscommunication, but Atlanta is going to get that ball back.
And another pause on the floor. Atlanta will have 13 seconds on the shot clock, and it looks like there's another review to, I assume, determine possession in this case.
I think so, and I think it was hard to tell as it came through. Did Sylvia Fowles tip it out, or did it go up? But yeah, that was key. Is McDonald, the rookies, looking to be aggressive. I like the opportunity that she got getting into the paint.
Here's another look. McDonald looking like the Wildcat McDonald, the type of player we saw at Arizona.
Yeah, wanting to make a big play at a big moment. It does look like maybe.
It looks like it went off Fowles, but did it barely touch Williams' fingers? Is there enough to overturn?
That's the other part. Do they have enough?
Well, it gives both teams another opportunity to get on the same page and discuss, and it is staying here with Atlanta. This time McDonald, the inbounder. And a turnover. Clarendon fighting for it, McDonald fighting for it, and Minnesota will get that timeout in.
McDonald trying to force it in, and that's maybe the rookie a little uncomfortable in that situation. That's a big play right there. And then the fumbling, everyone going. This is what we talked about, the desperation, getting down. Clarendon gets on the floor.
And this is what Reeve talks about with that leadership and that veteran experience, to have out onto the floor, not just to rally everyone, but when it comes to decision making, because
Absolutely.
They make a big difference. This is just a one possession game. So Dangerfield stays on the floor with the other starters. Damiris Dantas has not re-entered the game since the first quarter with a lower back injury. And here Dangerfield going to work. She's got Billings extending the defense near the half-court line. And it works to perfection, and a timeout called by Atlanta.
Wow. I'm stifled.
Remember we said what Mike Peterson said, that the bigs are the backbone of this defense.
Yep.
What a clutch
Yeah, that
situation.
was clutch. I might need to see that again.
I wonder if it maybe threw Dangerfield off to be seeing the big, lanky, quick Billings right in front of her.
I like that, and I don't like that, but what I'm saying is that the defensive thought of putting her on her was very smart by Atlanta. And that's, again, what they come in here with is everyone knows that their aggressiveness and tenacity on the defensive end of the court, that was an example.
Well, Mike Peterson may have been thrown into this interim head coaching situation, but he has been around the block in women's basketball in the WNBA. He's been on this coaching staff the last 3 years. So interesting to see that kind of rule, the change there for their defense. 39 seconds left for Atlanta, down by 3. McBride sticking with Williams. Hawkins looked up at the clock, still plenty of time for the Dream. Mary McDonald shuffling that off, and Hawkins will finish. It's a 1-point game.
Now that was a beautiful pass by McDonald. She didn't think about it. She saw her open player. She gets it in there quickly. That was a clutch pass.
Now there's a very, very small difference, just 0.4 of a second between the shot and game clock. Are you happy there to go for the 2? Should they have been looking for a 3 on that play?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay going for the 2 there. You know, I mean, obviously if you have the open shot, but how they did that, because it could have been the 3-point play as well. There's 24 seconds left. Dream down by 1. So it is going to come down to defense in the end, is if they can get that ball back. And
do you count on that 0.4 of a second, or do you have to foul immediately here? Try and get a steal, then foul?
I feel like the immediate foul.
And that still would, of course, make it a 1-possession game.
Right.
So you feel safe in that category. It's a little, I mean, having a 1-point game is so much different than 2, because those 2 free throws, it just puts you out of reach.
Right, it changes it, exactly.
Minnesota at one point in this game led by 8. Atlanta has led by as many as 9. There's been more than a dozen lead changes in this one. Both teams coming off of overtime wins. A lot of minutes on these bodies in the last week. But going down to the wire once more here at Target Center. Same players on the floor. McDonald getting a lot of late minutes here instead of Sims, who had a good
you're right.
second quarter, started this game in place of Kennedy Carter too, but she's earned it.
Minnesota just needs to stay calm here. What you just don't want to turn this ball over right now.
Dangerfield.
There's the trap. They get the jump. No, they got the foul. Oh.
It is a jump ball, and that's for Atlanta when you're going up against Dangerfield. That was a huge defensive play yet again.
Again, if it's going to come down to their defensive tenacity right to the last second here. That was a great trapping job. They did a great job there.
I would show this to young kids, these last defensive possessions, where they're just wide and just fundamental, not drawing fouls, not making mistakes, but really being challenging defensively. And it is won by Minnesota. Nafisa Collier was holding off Elizabeth Williams, but there will be a whistle against Williams. That was huge effort by Fee.
Yes,
they're over the limit, and free throws coming up.
There you go. Let's see if Fee connects. Free throw down here, but Dangerfield, nice job.
Maybe it was a little, maybe she felt a little more confident because she wasn't looking at Elizabeth Williams across from her.
True,
like
thankfully.
We saw earlier. Exactly. And Fee good on the first, this one.
2-point game.
To make it 3. And it's a 2-point game. Timeout called on the floor. Big rebound by Monique Billings.
Again, defense. It comes down to defense in this game, and Atlanta is not going to go easily. They're getting every scrappy rebound, doing every trapping on the defensive end, turning the links over. They've been battling here the last couple of minutes of this game.
They are up at the top when it comes to steals, when it comes to offensive rebounds, because of that kind of demeanor and tenacity.
That's the identity of this team. That's what they're known for, and they got 12 seconds to try use the defense to win the game. Try to get a win.
Well, after that miss, the Minnesota Lynx holding on now to a 2-point lead. And this really opens things up for the Dream now in terms of what they can look for. Tiana Hawkins will be the inbounder. Lynx fans on their feet, hoping for 12 seconds of D. Courtney Williams is fouled by McBride. That's going to be her second, the team's third. And checking in is Billings for McDonald, makes sense to try and put an offensive rebounder out on the floor, a big body. 7.2 to go, and here's Carleton coming in, maybe a defensive substitution there for head coach Cheryl Reeve. Hawkins, the inbounder again, into Hayes, who's one-on-one against Clarendon, and she finishes to tie this game.
I mean, it was done to a team. And they were in this situation in the first place because of their intensity on the defensive end, but that was a beautiful offensive play. And Hayes is so talented at getting to the basket.
Tiffany Hayes, the leading scorer for the Dream. You see this play again. Credit to Lasia Clarendon for not fouling on that play, too. She knew she was in hot water and was just not going to make it worse.
Exactly. Yeah, it was more about how good of an offensive player Hayes is, that it's once she gets going downhill, it's going to be hard to stop her.
Just a really well drawn up and well executed inbound play by the Atlanta Dream.
Well, I want to ask you, are you going to be ready for an overtime game?
I think I am. You know, did you know that the last Lynx overtime game, there was a 130 game gap? The Lynx went from 2016 to Sunday without an overtime game. So if we have two in a row, we shall see. 5 seconds left here for Nafisa Collier, who can go all the way, and she draws the foul with 1.5 seconds left.
Wow. Did it say no basket?
The Dream got so turned around and forgot about Nafisa Collier.
Someone you do not want to forget about.
Another huge free throw coming up.
One.
And she goes 2 for 2. No timeouts for either team. It'll be Courtney Williams with the heave at the buzzer. It hits the backboard, and Minnesota escapes with a victory on their home court, 86-84 for their second win this season.
And it was a big one and an important win for this Minnesota franchise, who needed the confidence to beat a very, very good Atlanta team.
Leah, I was preparing. It could have happened. We had sung the praises so much of the Atlanta defense, especially down the stretch. And then to see the seas part for Collier was very unexpected.
Yeah, that was unexpected. It was definitely a big miss, and Nafisa Collier was the right person to have the ball in her hands at the right time, because she doesn't panic. She's calm in those situations, and she does what she does best, get to the free throw line.
And she knocked them down. Nafisa Collier with a huge game today as they do their half-court tradition. Collier finishing today with 25 points. And Nafisa Collier should be joining us closely, but dancing takes precedent, of course.
Of course.
When you have a victory, when they've been harder to come by in the early goings this season, but did you feel like this game is this is helping them get into a groove. We saw that building today. Would you agree with
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. There was a lot of good things for the Lynx to take from this game, but what they're learning now is they're learning how to win together, and that confidence that they had in the past is coming back. And so this is a huge win for Minnesota, and it's going to be pretty exciting to see them come back and play Atlanta again on Sunday, because you know that the Dream are going to be ready. And I think the difference will be what happens in protecting the paint.
Yes, the Minnesota by far leading in that category. And we're going to talk to Napheesa Collier, who had a tremendous game today. Hi, Phoenix, Sloan and Leah. Do you have us?
Hi, I hear you.
Well, great. Congratulations on the win. What are you thinking as you're going to the free throw line in those final moments, especially after a big second half for you?
I was obviously really nervous because the game was on the line. But then I just thought, do it for my team, don't think about myself, and that kind of calmed me down and allowed me to put them in.
Napheesa, it felt like that the Lynx, you guys came out at the start of this game ready to go. It looked comfortable. Your offense was there. Defense was good. How did it feel from the very get-go?
It did feel good. We always have the mentality we have to protect our home court, and I think that's what we came in doing. We knew it was going to be a really aggressive, fast-paced, athletic game, and so we came in with that mindset, and I think we executed.
Fee, you had to watch those first 3 games, those first 3 losses, and I know that must have been tough for you to not see the team execute how you wanted them to. Do you feel like these last 2 games, the Sun and this game against the Dream, this is really establishing a groove for you guys? Do you feel like you're finding it?
I do. We didn't have a great training camp, so I think just trying to get our team chemistry together and put in the things that we do as a Lynx, really working on that the past 2 weeks. We've had a lot of practice time, and I think it's paying off in our games now.
We saw some great communication with post players, bigs getting the ball into the paint, but overall there was 40 points in the paint for you guys tonight. How did you get that done?
We knew that we were going to be able to get it in. They have a lot of guards, smaller guards, and especially Mama Sil, we like to get it into her, so really looking to take advantage of that.
All right, Napheesa, thank you so much. Much appreciated, and good luck against Atlanta once more this weekend.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Napheesa Collier finishing with 26 points, 10 for 13 from the foul line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals to go along with that. We are going to step aside for a moment and then wrap things up here from Target Center. A big win from Minnesota, 86-84 over the Atlanta. Well, Minnesota Lynx come out on top, their 2nd win in a row and 2nd game this season over the Atlanta Dream, ending their 4-game win streak. The final score 86-84 here at Target Center. Napheesa Collier, a monster game with 26.7 rebounds. Tiffany Hayes on the other side had 23 with 8 rebounds and a 2nd straight double-double for Courtney Williams, 15 and 10. Leah, what do you think was the difference tonight? Was it just late game moments for Minnesota to come out ahead?
I really think overall it was points in the paint, because that was from the beginning to the end. But what I think Minnesota did was they brought aggression on both ends of the court, and for the first time we saw them really shoot the ball well.
Minnesota leading that category. You mentioned points in the paint, 40-18, which is exactly what this Lynx coaching staff wants to see. Both of these teams will face off again in just 2 days' time on Sunday here at Target Center, so a chance for the Lynx to extend this win streak to 3 games. For Leah B. Olson, I'm Sloan Martin saying goodbye here from Target Center. Minnesota moving to 2-4 this season, Atlanta dropping to 4-3. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight.